This is Christian from Goatee Games, and I'm going to do a Let's Play of After the Empire. This is a empire building, territory acquisition strategy game set in a far future where the human empire, the Empire of the Elect, which controlled the entire galaxy, ascended to a higher plane of being and took all the living things in the Milky Way with them. They left behind the robots and the planets and the things that didn't have souls, though the artificial intelligences they left behind were very intelligent. A little while later, a mysterious signal gives the AI souls, and they decide, hey, let's have a war. And this is the game of that war. The maps are procedurally generated, so if you put in the same size and seed as I am, you are going to get the same map, and you can play along with me. I'm going to do a normal size, normal difficulty. Let's do seed 1000 and generate the map. We're going to skip the story, and I'm going to talk to you about the mechanics. So it's going to try to zoom me into the strongest starting territory, but I'm going to tilt it and zoom myself back out. And we're going to go to the fastest starting territories. Strongest starting territories are those that the game thinks are going to survive the early game for sure. Most likely to survive the early games. Fastest starting territories are a little riskier, but they're the ones that the game thinks will be in the best position to expand rapidly. This is totally based on geography, as is so much of this game, which is why it switches to this view, which highlights things based on how many processions they have. That's the number of these glowing rings. Territories with 3 processions in this view, colored gold, are, I'm going to turn off the great spiral so you can see them more clearly. And in fact, I'll turn off the stars. Look at that. The ones that are colored gold have 3 processions and are by far the strongest, both economically and militarily. The ones with 2 processions are colored this lovely blue color, and they're sort of medium strength. And the green ones only have 1 procession and are sort of there for the other ones to conquer. So we are going to choose, of course, a 3 procession territory, and we probably want one from this list. So it thinks Throne of Lights is really good. I don't think I want to play the Throne of Lights today. I don't think I want to be on the edge. I'll be these guys. Ooh, but look at this. Look at this. That's going to be really rough. We will, in fact, be Helter Skelter. You can change the name, but I like Helter Skelter. So we're going to select it. This takes us to the the faction customization menu. I'm going to be a preset faction. There was already one set. There's always one set randomly. This is what they will be if you don't play them. But we're going to customize them, and we're going to make them a preset faction. You can customize the preset factions further after you've changed them. But the preset factions are a good, easy to get into, sort of a balanced gameplay option. Well, in the case of the militant ones, they're not balanced at all. They're very militarily strong and economically weak. That's all these red things are their religion-hating, all these economic buildings. But their culture and old mind really likes these military buildings because it's a militant old mind, and the culture is the martial heart. They have good bonuses for both aggressive and fleet in military, so they're going to be a good aggressive force. We're going to play them. And then we're going to talk about the building system and the economy. The economy in this game is a little different than you might have experienced in previous empire building games, but really straightforward once you get into it. So the first stage of the economy is, where does the income come from? So first, the income is generated each turn from the economic pools that each territory is a member of. These are the guilds, these are the trade routes, and these are the pilgrimages. Guilds are small, trade routes are medium, pilgrimages are large. What happens is, each territory has economic buildings that are guild buildings, trade route buildings, and pilgrimage buildings. And those put money or income into the economic pool every turn, which is then split out among the territories that are members of that economic pool, in this case, the guild, the formula, according to how many processions they have or how many shares they have. Each procession gets you 1 share. So Helter Skelter has 3 processions, thus it gets 3 shares of the 14 total, which gives it 21.42% of the income. And so it's awarded 76.61 income from its guild each turn. Same thing will happen on a larger scale with the trade route and the pilgrimage that Helter Skelter is a member of. Where, for instance, in the trade route, Helter Skelter has still the same 3 shares, but it's out of 30 instead of 14. And in the pilgrimage, it's out of 114. But the income numbers are also correspondingly larger. So actually, the biggest income is the guild, followed by the pilgrimage, followed by the trade route. Okay. That income comes into the territory each turn right here as income. Then the territory pays taxes, which allows you to redirect some of the income between territories by putting down these little tokens, which make it a grant recipient, make the territory a grant recipient. But then the rest of the income is distributed among these tokens. And then that income becomes progress to the building. If I look at this building, it requires 600 progress. This is under current progress in the middle of that hover to go to the next level. Last turn it gained nothing because it was the first turn of the game. When it goes to the next level, its production increases proportionally. So instead of producing 30 income, or in the case of a military building like this one is 3 military forces, it will produce 4. And then the cost will increase for its next level going up. So what we want to do first is just decide how our income is going to be distributed. We're going to use a pattern. The patterns are just like templates that are applied to all of your territories that you set to the same pattern. The auto pattern is a special pattern that sets all the territories you conquer to itself if it's set. So if you have an auto pattern set and you conquer a territory, its pattern is the auto pattern. So you can customize what new places should have. So I don't want to give, they're all going to start with 0 because I haven't set anything in this pattern yet, and all patterns do that, except for the no pattern, which starts at 1, which is like unique. And first I'm going to put tokens on these 3 economic buildings, which are the only ones I can build without getting a penalty from my religion. Then I'm going to put 2 on each of the civic buildings. So economic buildings we've covered. Civic buildings are empire-wide, and they're the only buildings that are. This is research. This is empire-wide attack. So as you put down these flags, and the more flags you have, the more it splits the potency of this attack force. So basically the attack force is split among however many flags you put down. And this is defense, which is the same thing, but for the shield, which puts down defensive forces into your territories. So the more shields you have, the weaker it is, but the more of these, the stronger, and so on. The third is military forces. I'm strong in military, so I'm going to put 2 in each of these that have a little green thing, which means that my old mind or culture likes it, and then 1 in the other 3. Military forces produce military forces, again, in each territory each turn. Then those military forces are split. So what happens is the military forces are split evenly among the neighbors that are either at war with that territory or are controlled by the same controller. And if they're at war, they become attacking forces. And if they are controlled by the same controller, they're controlled by you, then they become defending forces. In this case, I don't control any of my neighbors, nor am I at war with them. So all of my forces will stay here. The territory that is producing it counts as one of the splits. So if I go to war with this guy, then the fleet forces will be split 50-50. Much as there are 3 income pools, 3 forms of trade, there are 3 forms of military, and they happen simultaneously. They are fleets, crypto, and glory. Fleets are traditional military forces. Crypto is dominating the machine minds of the other machines and making them do what you want, or rewriting them entirely. And glory is convincing them because they're robots. They're logical. It's just convincing that they're wrong, which destroys them as surely as anything. If you are winning, or if any territory is being besieged, which means there's more attacking forces than defending forces in its territory, by any one of these 3 forms of war, its civilizations will start to go down. The more forms it's besieged by, the more quickly its civilizations will go down, and when its civilizations will become negative, it is conquered. And it's conquered by the siege leader. In this case, the siege leader is Purity, which is this faction right here. The siege leader is just whoever has the most military forces, attacking military forces in a given territory. Sometimes the siege leader is a rebel force, like the masked folk who are empowered by taxation. The more you tax, the stronger the masked folk are. If they take control of a territory because they're the siege leader, instead the original controller will regain control if that faction's been destroyed, or if it hasn't, or if that faction already controls the territory that's rebelling, it will instead go to the nearest enemy. So let's talk victory. To win the game, you have to take enough territories so that your enlightenment and authority total over 100%. So right now, Throne of Lights is winning at 27.0, and I am in second place at 4.26. That's funny. The reason why Throne of Lights is winning is because of enlightenment. So enlightenment is the first of the 2 victory things, and enlightenment comes from 3 things. The first is the Throne of Lights, which is the central territory, which is the capital, gives its controller 25%. 25% towards victory for controlling this territory. Free. Flat. The second form is what's getting me so many points, which is The edge of night. So the edge of night is the edge of the galaxy. And the more the edge of the galaxy you control, the more of a 50% worth of enlightenment you will be given. The third is the ocean of stars, and that is the surface area, or the number of stars, really, the surface area of each territory. So the larger your total surface area of all your territories put together, the greater a bonus you'll get from that. So you add those to your authority. Authority is produced by these authority buildings. So guild, trade route, pilgrimage, authority, general economic progress, civilization buildings. And it's just the second form of victory point, and it's like a percentage. So this place has 30 of the 1,690 authority that exists in the entire galaxy, which is about 1.77%. And so I get 1.77% victory from that. And the two of those together is 4.27, which puts me in first. Okay, so my pattern is set up. You understand how the military system works. I'm going to conform my technology to my pattern, and I'm going to keep my path just like this. The technology system in this game, the building these universities produces technology points, which are then distributed among these, just like the shares of income buildings were. And when they're going to go up, when they go up in level, they give a plus 1% bonus per technological level to that building empire-wide. So this is an empire-wide bonus, and so are these, because you can place these flags and shields. These are sort of empire-wide, and these are completely local. So the only way to really project military power is this, or by moving taxes to places you need. So let's talk about what my plan is going to be. I want to take as many of these two processions as possible to prevent these guys from taking them. If these unify, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. If this whole thing unifies, I will almost certainly lose. But I have a good chance if I take a bunch of these twos, take this 3, and sort of take this part like this. There's a lot of victory points there, but there's not a lot of power. So I need to be really careful that I'm not overwhelmed by these. Luckily, because they can only attack their neighboring places, except for those civic buildings with the flags and the shields, I might have a really good shot anyway. So we're going to attack our first neighbors. We want to attack both Ultra Bright and Umbramire. So it's telling me that I have military ambitions without war and without siege leader, so I need to declare war on these places. There we go. Actually, I don't want to declare glory war against them, because I'm not super great at it. I'm probably better at it than they are, because I have 3 of each building, whereas they only start with 1. See them filling their bars up. This is me filling my bar up. Right here. When those bars are full, the buildings will be improved. I am losing. Or I'm not losing the fight, but I am. They're putting a lot of forces into my territory. That's okay. I'm going to easily win this one. And now, see, I am the siege leader here, so I will get it when this is conquered. Oh, it's built another build. Oh, but I got it in the end. Got it in the end. So we're going to try to move into these 2 procession territories as quickly as possible. I probably don't want to declare this form of war. The reason why I don't want to declare this form of war is because of rebellion. The rebels are kind of okay with you declaring the war that you're best at, that they like the most. In this case, for me, it's fleet. And fine with crypto, which is the one I'm medium at. But if I declare a glory war, it get 8% as opposed to 0 and something I'm not very strong at. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to right here take this place. So this is my attacking forces building up towards their defense number. You can also see it here. Building up in these 2 forms of war. That's me being at war with that place. They're slowly, there we go. So now I've gone over 100%, so now I am besieging them, and they are losing 2 civilizations a turn. When that goes below 0, the siege leader, which in this case is me, is going to take control of it, and that's mine. I'm going to take eccentricity as quickly as possible. Am I going to be... Luckily, I am the siege leader. They were already just being attacked by their masked folk. I'm also going to try to take this place. Multitasking. Awesome. Eccentricity is mine. This place is next. This place is starting naturally at war with me because of cultural differences. Oh, it's also quite strong. So I'm going to hold on. I'm going to be real careful here. It is actually being supported by a second 2 procession territory here. You can see that in this hover. And you can tell it's 2 processions because there's 2 bars on that gate. So instead, we'll just keep going this direction. I'm going to take Symphony. I'm going to take Pillars of Life. Let's make sure I'm the siege leader. I am. I'm not the siege leader here, but hopefully I will be soon. This is my bar going up, 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 and I'm the siege leader, which is good. Sometimes you can really sneak in somewhere and get it at the last possible second. That's an example of me not being able to sneak in and get it at the last possible second. So he lost his defender. So he was almost immediately conquered by me. So let's see. We're going to push into the center here. Take both Purity and Prairie of Stars. Absolutely. Absolutely. So all these places have my auto pattern, and you can see they're just merrily spending their money and transferring it around. Now at this point, it would probably be smart for me to drop my taxes to Helter Skelter and instead push them to Eccentricity to sort of push money up towards my frontier. Let's take a second to look at this. This is now my guild, and I've taken a huge part of it. This is my chunk. I now have 71%. So I have a lot of that money now. It's being distributed among these places, which means that they're all being improved, or I can increase my taxes and have more power to distribute money via government grants. So those are the mechanics of the game. Let's zoom out and take a look at the board at the moment. I mean, it's starting to unify pretty quickly. Some of them are pretty strong. I've moved really quick, really fast, which is often really helpful in this game. So that's the mechanics of the game. That's the whole of it. And I could stop this video here. If all you're interested in the mechanics, that was the video, and we'll do other full Let's Plays later.